Hello, everyone. My name is Seth, and today I'm going to do a tier list ranking of the DCEU movies. So, with Shazam, Fury of the Gods coming out real soon, I thought it would be a good idea to go back and look at some of the DCEU movies. I could probably go back and revisit this list I'm going to make here in a minute at the end of the year because we still have The Flash coming out this year and we still have Aquaman 2 coming out at the end of this year. And those are still kind of DCEU movies. These are kind of like the last batch before the new DC is started, led by James Gunn and Peter Safran. But I wanted to go ahead and just do a tier list and share my thoughts on the DCEU movies so far. But before I go any further, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can receive notifications for when I upload my next video. All right, so we're here. I have the tier list up and ready to go. And so let's take a look. The first one is Wonder Woman. For me, Wonder Woman is easy S tier. It is a fantastic movie. Gal Gadot is awesome as Wonder Woman. Whenever she was first cast, I was not so sure about it because I did not think she was very good in really the things that she had done before. But I feel like she did a really good job as Wonder Woman. I love Chris Pine. I think the direction was awesome. I really love the first Wonder Woman movie. And that brings us to Wonder Woman 84. I think I will put that in the C tier for now. I think I like it more than most people. I don't absolutely hate it. There's some people hate it. However, it's not nearly as good as the first one. I might end up taking it down to the D tier. I'm not sure. I think C's okay. C's average. I think it's pretty average. I might have some kind of nostalgia about it because one year for my birthday, my wife went and rented out a theater and surprised me. She blindfolded me in the car, drove me to the theater, and then walked me in blindfolded, walked me into the theater, and then took off a blindfold, and a bunch of my friends and family were there. And it was just a fun time. So that might be part of the reason why I enjoy this a little bit more. But I had fun with it. It has a lot of issues, but I still at least have fun with it. That's why I think it's average. It's in the C tier. All right, the next one is Justice League, and that's the theatrical version of Justice League. I think I'm going to put that in the C tier as well. Now that Zack Snyder's Justice League has come out, I'm not going to go back and watch this version. But if we didn't have Zack Snyder's Justice League, I would go back and watch it every so often. It's not as good as it should have been. It's not as good as it needed to be. You could tell it's super disjointed, but there is still some fun to be had with it. It still does some things well. So, as of right now, keep it in the C tier. We'll see if I end up dropping it down later. Next, we got Aquaman. Aquaman, I think I will go in the A tier. It is a lot of fun, and it really reminds me of kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's big and super colorful and at times a little ridiculous, over the top, but it was fun. Jason Momoa as Aquaman is always a good time. There was good action. It's definitely a very solid movie. I don't like it as good as Wonder Woman. I don't think it's necessarily as good as Wonder Woman, so I'm going to put it in the A tier, but I am excited for Aquaman 2. Next on the list is Harley Quinn, and I'm honestly going to have to put that in the F tier. I did not like this movie. Now, when I say I'm putting it in the F tier, that doesn't mean that there's nothing good about it. I love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She was awesome. Ewan McGregor was really good in this. And, of course, I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead in everything. I'm from North Carolina. She's from North Carolina, so I'm always going to be rooting for Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That being said, there's a lot in this movie that does not work for me. Now, I wouldn't say that this is an F movie overall. Like, I wouldn't give this movie like a 2 out of 10 or like a 1 out of 5 or something like that, but it definitely would get a rotten score from me on Rotten Tomatoes. Next up is Batman vs. Superman, and this may or may not surprise some people. I'm sliding it all the way up here to A. I really like Batman vs. Superman, unapologetically. Now, again, it's not perfect. There's some things that I would do differently, but I really like it. I love Ben Affleck as Batman. Honestly, he's probably my favorite Batman. This has one of the best Batman action scenes. I think Henry Cavill as Superman is great. I wish he had a little bit more of an opportunity to really show how good of a Superman he can be. But I unapologetically love Batman versus Superman. That's why it's in the A tier for me. It's not in the S tier because overall in my head, it's not as good as Wonder Woman, but I really like it. And hey, if you haven't seen the extended edition, I would absolutely recommend it. It kind of gives more context to Clark Kent, and I really think it's a better movie overall. But I really enjoy it. It's in the A tier for me. Next is Man of Steel, and Man of Steel is one that has grown on me. I'm going to slide it up here to the B tier. I like it. I do not like it as good as Batman vs. Superman, which I know to some people that seems kind of crazy, but I think it's a good start. It's definitely a different take on Superman, but I liked it. I really did. If you were to ask me to put it in a tier list maybe 10 years ago, I would have said like it's a C, it's a D maybe, but I have grown to enjoy this and to appreciate it. So for me, it is in the B tier. Next is Shazam, and I know exactly where Shazam is going. Shazam going up there in the S tier. I love Shazam. Zachary Levi is awesome. The corner of this DC universe that they've kind of carved out there, I love some of the horror elements that they brought in. I think it's just a really good superhero movie. It's up there with Wonder Woman for me in terms of quality and in terms of just fun. And so I am super excited for the sequel coming out extremely soon. I will do my best to be there opening night, and it is absolutely S tier in the DCEU for me. Next up is Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Zack Snyder's Justice League goes in the A tier. I feel like if this was the movie that was released instead of the original theatrical version, of course, the aspect ratio and the black and white and the 4-hour time on the movie, that wouldn't have stayed. But if a version of this were to have come out in theaters, I feel like people would look at the DCEU in a different way. I really enjoyed it. There's definitely some stuff that can be cut out of this 4-hour version, but as an experience, I'm glad that they allowed him to do this. I mean, he literally had to finish CGI shots. They gave him extra money to finish the CGI and to shoot some extra scenes. I'm glad they allowed him to do that. And it is in the A tier for me. Next up, we got Suicide Squad. The first Suicide Squad. For me, that's going in C. Real simple and easy. I think it's on the same level as Justice League and Wonder Woman 84. I liked it a lot more when it first came out. Subsequent watches, not so much. It's fine. It's fine. And so that's why it is in the C tier. Next up is The Suicide Squad by James Gunn. That is also going in the A tier. It is a lot of fun. Basically, it takes everything that's good from the first Suicide Squad movie, dials it up to 11, and then just the charm and the storytelling of James Gunn fills out all of the rest, and it makes for a really good and enjoyable movie. I really love the Suicide Squad, and I'm really interested to see what from this they kind of keep and don't keep moving forward in the new DC universe. I feel like it makes sense to kind of start over, but also this is kind of James Gunn's thing. So I don't know. We'll see. I have faith in James Gunn though, but The Suicide Squad is in the A tier for me. The last movie and the most recent DCEU movie to be released is Black Adam. Now, a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Black Adam. It goes in the B tier for me. The reason it goes in the B tier is because I had a lot of fun with this. The one thing I told my wife whenever we walked out of the movie theater, I said, I don't know if this is necessarily a good movie, but man, it certainly was a fun movie. I did not like the kid character. I don't really think we needed him at all. I loved everything with the Justice Society. I loved The Rock as Black Adam. Aldous Hodge was amazing as Hawkman. And man, I really want them to find a way to get more of Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I want a Pierce Brosnan Dr. Fate movie. Please. HBO series, something. I don't even care if it breaks continuity or whatever. That's something that I need, like yesterday. For the deficits in its script and storytelling and character development, it makes up for in the action. And unfortunately, they didn't really accomplish at the box office what they were wanting to, but I had a lot of fun. And sometimes that's all you need when you watch a movie or you go to the theaters or whatever, you pull it up on streaming, rent it from Redbox or whatever. Sometimes you just need a fun movie where you can kind of just turn your brain off. This kind of reminds me of like a throwback to like the early 2000s or a mid to late 90s comic book movie, but this will definitely have a few rewatches for me. And so that's my list here of the DCEU movies. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so you can see everything. This was fun to make. This was fun to go through, look back, reminisce on the movies, especially as we got a new one coming out soon. So if you guys want some more videos like this, let me know, and I can certainly do that. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can receive notification for when I upload my next video, and I'll see you next time.